Alright, hello and welcome to Wizard Survivors. I picked Wizard Survivors up from my wish list a day or two ago. It was on sale for like 10% off or something. I don't know, it wasn't much of a sale. Anyway, it's, if you like Vampire Survivors-like games and stuff like that, this is kind of like what it is. I feel like I'm going to have to restart it. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, alright, good. Maybe I don't. Nope, I do, because the game it literally hates the crap out of me. For whatever reason, sometimes, like I say, I'm playing without a controller because I don't want to use a controller because it doesn't actually support controllers. But often when you try to use a controller, or when you have a controller connected and you, like, go to the main menu, you click out of the screen into another window, or whatever, the game just says, screw you, I'm done playing, so I have to Alt F4 to close it because it's the only thing that works, and then I can go back into it and play it. So here we are. And then, when that doesn't happen, then I sometimes run into these ridiculously slow frame rate issues that happen that make no sense whatsoever, but I don't know if that's going to happen, so maybe that was a one-time thing. I am playing this with the auto attack on just for a sense of ease, I guess you could say. My wizards, the three choices: you start off with the fire wizard, and then you unlock the lightning and ice wizard as you play. They feel relatively mismatched. I don't think the wizards are properly balanced, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Having played the lightning wizard, I just prefer to play the lightning wizard because they pretty much outpower the other two at a very, very high rate. So here's like another thing that I don't like. This upgrade screen, it doesn't work properly. I have the controller attached, like I said, because I'm not going to unplug it. There's no reason for me to unplug it. It's 2024. If a game doesn't use a controller, it should just be like, cool, whatever, there's a controller attached, but no big deal. But instead, I can't activate anything from the upgrade screen unless I actually push A on my key or my controller, which obviously is not like intended. I think it doesn't seem like a great thing. It's incredibly infuriating to try to play because, yeah, I mean, theoretically I should be able to use the mouse to maybe click on this A button, but I can't find it with the mouse, so I have to reach over to my controller and do that. I guess it's a first world problem, but it's not a kind of problem that I expect to have when I play a game, so that little bit of a problem is something that kind of makes me say this probably isn't going to be quite a game that I am going to firmly recommend, and that's really hard for me because I do love this type of game. I don't know why, I don't know what it is about it, but there's just something incredibly satisfying of running around killing, hundreds of thousands of enemies all at once. Maybe it's the part of me that misses the good old days of Diablo and action RPGs like that, but enjoys the casual nature of the Vampire Survivors style game. I don't know, but something about these games, it typically kind of tickles my fancy in just the right way. It's just something that overall I know going into it, I have an expectation to really enjoy it. So the biggest problem that I guess I would say that I have with this title is it doesn't really do much in the way of anything new, and I don't really expect every single one of these games that I play to introduce some kind of new mechanic. I mean, I feel like that would be improper to think that that's going to happen. I mean, there's a tried and true method to these games. You can kind of expect a certain aspect or certain gameplay elements, and the biggest major difference is going to be graphics, or maybe some kind of very subtle gameplay element that's going to be different. But Wizard Survivors doesn't really have anything like that. There's nothing about it that really makes it feel truly unique to the genre. It doesn't do anything that makes me say that I should play this in comparison to literally any of the other 100 games that I have that are similar to this. And that's a little bit disappointing for me because, you know, I bought this game for like $4, you know, which sounds kind of silly, but that's 2 energy drinks. I mean, that's, you know, that's money that could have been spent on other cool things that would have given me a temporary moment of satisfaction. And I guess I was hoping to go into this with the idea that it would be something that I would, you know, eventually sink 5 or 6 hours into, but yeah, it's not going to be the case. This is going to be probably, you know, when it comes to games I have in this genre, it's going to be one of the games that has the smallest amount of game time, just because there just really isn't any incentive to keep playing after a certain point. You know, once you've kind of unlocked all of the characters, you're going to pick one that you like the most, and you're going to keep playing at as them. And for me, it's the Lightning Wizard. You know, they're much better than everybody else. But again, it just kind of runs into the problem. Like, there's not really any incentive to keep playing. I'm tired of being in the same forest. The enemy bosses are... they're kind of boring, to be honest. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it. They're not overly exciting. There's nothing about them that really makes them feel unique. It doesn't feel like I've really accomplished anything or I'm doing anything. It never really felt like I was ever really, truly improving. And I don't know if it's because the speed in which you are unlocking your upgrades is typically on the higher end of things, or if it's just the strange feeling of repetition and the lack of upgrades that are available in the game that you know, just kind of make it feel like you're never really straying far from the very first time you play. And you know, and at this point, like, I know it sounds like, I mean, I've got nothing but bad things to say about the game, and that's kind of disappointing because I don't mean to come off that way. It's just, unfortunately, it's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I mean, this is just you know, it's just kind of okay. Like, we had a saying once upon a time, a couple of years ago when I was in Africa, we had a saying that we were, you know, like the okayest at what we did, kind of thing. Like, it was just kind of a hidden joke between some of us who were putting a lot of work into things. We were exceptionally good at our job and everything, but we just kind of just went with it. We're like, you know, we're the most okayest there is. And it kind of stuck with me a little bit, like that whole idea that, you know, there's this, I guess, fine line of how potential good, or how good you could potentially be at something, or how something could be. And that there's sometimes things are just okay. There's not really anything about something that makes it truly special or truly stand out amongst anything else out there. But if you like a certain thing, then there's a good chance that you're probably going to like the thing that you're experiencing now. And Wizard Survivors falls in that category. It is a game that, if you are a fan of the genre, you will likely have a good time with, because it does some of the things that you're probably going to enjoy. We have enemies that die, we have upgrades that happen. You know, it may not be as shiny and special as, you know, some games, but they come fast and furious and at a better pace than any of the Fast and Furious movies. And we don't have the benefit of, I don't know, some other stuff. But anyway, that's not the point. It does enough of the simplest of things that it makes the experience worth it. But it makes the experience worth it only kind of once, not necessarily a whole bunch of times. So, basically where I'm going with it is, if you like this style of game, there's a good chance you're going to have a good time here. I don't know that you're going to want to play it for a long period of time. I don't know that it has lasting appeal for anyone. I know for me it doesn't. I mean, after I finish it this time for this video, I will be moving on and it will never get loaded up again. Just because I feel like I've experienced everything there really is to experience. There's just not any real reason for me to keep going, so that's just kind of the gist. I'm just trying to go until I die at this point. Figure we can get like one more boss fight in. It's a little hard to figure out like where the boss fights are gonna chime in, because part of me thought they were like every 8 levels, but I don't know if that's the case. I haven't been able to really figure it out. And there's also this like weird kind of growth of enemy hit points where it feels like they just kind of suddenly became more powerful, and it just takes a lot longer to kill them, which doesn't make as much sense as it might, because it still seems to be the same. It's the same but different. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I think, and the most I've ever gone up in a single level is 18. Or not a single level, but a single run is level 18. So I imagine this might be the first time that I actually kind of stick around long enough to get past 18. And it's not that I get to level 18 and then I die. It's usually I get to level 18 and I'm like, well, I think I'm just going to start over on the run, because it would make sense. You don't seem to have a huge increase of the elite enemies, which drop our, you know, gems that we can use to upgrade. Though we don't seem to get anything that actually makes it in the point that, I guess would make it easier to, like, you know, get those upgrade gems. So after a certain point, it just kind of makes sense to just die and start over. Or stop your run, which I don't feel like that's intentional at all. It's just, I don't know, this is like, it's a game that just definitely needed probably a little bit better balance for the, I don't know, difficulty and stuff. And I wouldn't say it's like impossible for it to eventually get there. Like, I think it probably could with some more updates, some other things could happen to kind of like rectify some of the complaints I have, some of the issues I have. But I mean, there's a review on Steam where somebody's played this for like 12 hours, and they seem to have really thoroughly enjoyed it for those 12 hours. And you know, I'm a little envious of them, because I mean, 12 hours is a long time to play this and have a great time. And I don't know what kind of I don't know what it is that they found that I'm missing, but I wish I found it, because I would love to have been able to play this for 12 hours. And walk away from it saying, well, that was a great use of my time. But, well. Anyway, as we wrap this up, because I don't know how much longer this is going to go, I will say that there are some aspects that I like. I know that I was meaning to do that a little bit earlier, but I kind of got sidetracked. I think the music's good. I do like it. It's pretty chill. I wish there was a little bit more variety, but I mean, like, the music itself is pretty chill. The enemy design is okay. Like, it's kind of like what I would expect for a game like this. We got, you know, skeletons, we've got slimes and bats and gargoyles, or whatever these things are. And those are, I think, you know, nicely done. Like, the hit detection is really good. Like, we can get kind of fairly close to enemies without having to worry about them hitting us when we're not really in what I would consider a hittable range. So it's nice to see the hitboxes work so well. And the upgrades, you know, they're okay. Given that, you know, there's this strange expectation that you're going to play for many, many waves, I feel like it probably could have used a bit more on the upgrade scale, because, like, as you can see, we're level 20, and our speed in which we're gaining upgrades has gone down quite a bit. Like, I'm not really seeing much at all. So while what is there is entertaining enough, there's just not enough, I would say. I think that's kind of fitting towards how I feel about it. Yeah. Yeah, so now it's just... This is where it just falls into that general loop of we've become so powerful that there's not really a reason for us to continue, but here we are. I just want to see if there's like one more boss. Looks like there is. Now, is it gonna be the same guy or different? It's basically the same dude, because of course it is. And, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Like, I mean, there's not really anything else to do at this point. I feel like I'm just kind of constantly repeating myself, and I've already, like, upgraded everybody. There's no reason for me to kind of keep going. So anyway, that being said, I would say that you could probably realistically get an hour or two out of the game, but after that, there's not really a whole bunch of incentive to kind of keep going, unless this is the only game that you have that you want to play, in which case, by all means, keep going. But yeah, for me, I've kind of reached the point of I'm done. Move on with life. But you know, it was an experience worth having. So yeah, the end. I guess I was still trying to find like some kind of really cool way to end this on like a super positive way, instead of like negative. But I think I'm just coming across more as somebody who's just rambling on because he doesn't know how to stop talking. So that being said, I am going to end this. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. The link is in the description. I encourage you to check the game out yourself. If you're interested in it, don't forget to hit that wishlist button. Pick it up when it's at a price point that's good for you, or today, or whatever works best. And yeah, that's it. Happy whatever day it is.